Say here on the show, it's always sad when someone leaves us, particularly when they've made such an indelible mark on the world of entertainment. And it got me thinking really about two people, in fact, because sadly earlier this week it was announced that the beautiful actress of the late 50s and 60s, Shirley had finally left us. What a beauty, let me tell you. I was lucky enough to meet her as ever, you know, in a green room in a television studio. Still radiantly beautiful at that particular age, and just one of those very savvy ladies. Now, for a lot of people, her name might not necessarily conjure up instant sort of film recognition. But if you are a fan of cult films like Lunch Hour, and for many people they will recall her time with none other than Sir Laurence Olivier, playing his much younger, some said, love interest in the film The Entertainer. You know, the one where he played the music hall artiste Archie Reich, which was based on, a lot of people said, a particular famous comedian over here in the UK. Well, apparently, I just remember her telling me this, that, you know, she was in trouble at one point because Sir Laurence didn't like the fact that he was sharing poster time with him on the final poster. You see, in order to sell the film, they felt they needed a little bit more than just Sir Laurence on the film. So they had her looking rather seductive in a negligee. He apparently kicked off and said, no, no, no. So there are about 4 different versions of the poster for The Entertainer. As I say, Shirley went on to many different things. They couldn't really decide what to do with her because she was stunningly beautiful. But the other side of the coin was she was also a very good actress, appearing in all those what they call kitchen sink dramas, you know, the black and white movies of the early 1960s. Of course, for later fans, they will remember her from the 1980s in her role for My Beautiful Laundrette. She got offered many different roles, but as she pointed out, it was very difficult when you were starting out, simply because, of course, you know, you were considered to be a sex bomb, a sex symbol. Nobody wanted to take you really that seriously. She came around the time, of course, of Shirley Eaton, Julie Christie, all of those darlings of the big screen of that particular era. But it also got me reminded of, you know, another person that she was lucky enough to work with, and that was the brilliant Anthony Newley. Now, as you know, I'd met Anthony Newley very nicely, should I say, at the Cafe Royal Green Room, where he was doing his one-man show in cabaret. What an artist, what a man. You forget exactly what he did, you know, not just writing Goldfinger, of course, that fabulous James Bond thing, but he'd already had a stellar career by the time the 60s came round. And as Shirley told me also about Anthony Newley, he turned down the opportunity to be in quite a few big movies. And apparently this was because he really at this point had had so much huge success on the stage with musicals like Stop the World, I Want to Get Off, that he felt he could only write, produce, direct and star in his own projects. This was to be something of his downfall. In fact, the movie roles that he decided to turn down included the brilliant Saturday Night, Sunday Morning. He didn't like that idea apparently at all. And then, of course, a role that's now really just synonymous with another huge superstar and a friend of mine, Sir Michael Caine in Alfie. When you think about Anthony Newley, he would have been perfect for Alfie. But Shirley said that, you know, he just really felt he couldn't really do justice to the roles unless he'd organised them himself. It's interesting when you meet people who have obviously met people that you've already interviewed and things like that. And, you know, when you look at, as I say, the catalogue of work of the beautiful Shirley as she pointed out, things would have been rather different for her had she been, say, a decade earlier. Because as she said, one of the people she admired was none other than the former British sex symbol, Dinah Dawes. She said he was able to combine that complete sexuality, the blonde bombshell look, but also take on wonderful roles at the same time. She said by the time that she came around in the late 50s and early 60s, beauty and the beat were simply everything. She said one of her very first early roles was in a sort of rock and roll movie alongside a big rocker over here in the United Kingdom at the time, Adam Faith. And because she did so well in that, that cemented literally her career at that point. As I say, it's always sad to, you know, report on great losses, but Shirley work alongside the very brilliant Anthony Newley, their worlds, their works simply live on, and how grateful are we that they do. Please like and share this video, let the world know all about these two wonderful stars of a golden era. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.